Okay, hello everybody and welcome to another episode of History Dog. Here is the beloved Mai, and today we are at Deganwy in North Wales. Now you can just see this beautiful scenery over here, and we are walking, come on Mai, we are walking up the slope, falling up the slope of what used to be Deganwy Castle. Now this was the royal castle built by the Anglo-Normans, I think originally in the 12th century, but there's nothing left of it now because in the late 13th century it was dismantled by Edward I very thoroughly, so there's absolutely nothing left. All you can see are these twin mounds where the castle once stood. It would have been quite formidable, quite impressive, overlooking the Conwy estuary over there. And if I can just find the history dog, there she is, scuttling about. So we're going to try and get a bit further up the main mound here. Here she is. She's actually behind me at the moment, so you might not see much of her. But it's a hot day, so I don't know how much further up we're going to get. But this was the site in 1245 of an exceptionally vicious military campaign by Henry III of England, Edward I's father. Now Henry brought an army here to this spot in that year, and he camped his army on these slopes that we're standing on now, and this was in autumn going into winter, 1244 into 1245. And although the weather is lovely today, the weather at the time was atrocious, and Henry neglected to bring enough winter gear or tents or supplies for his men. We have a very eloquent letter preserved in the Chronicle of Matthew Paris, written by one of Henry's nobles to a friend, describing the conditions the army was forced to endure. And it was all pretty frightful, to be honest. Everyone was starving, food prices were sky high, the weather was appalling, so the soldiers were exposed on these bare slopes. They were under constant attack from the Welsh. There was a very savage battle fought in the estuary below over an abandoned supply ship, and the whole thing was a mess, really. And while Henry succeeded in his aim of refortifying Deganwy Castle, which ironically there's absolutely nothing left of now, it was all very wasteful and a massive loss of resources and lives, really. And then decades later his son comes along. Edward I decides that Deganwy is no longer fit for purpose. He dismantles it, and instead he builds his much more better known castle just over the estuary there at Conwy, which hopefully you can see. And that's a real monster of a place, one of the so-called Iron Ring. I'll just pull out slightly so you can get an idea of the location. So it's on the opposite side of the Conwy estuary, whereas Deganwy was built on these heights to try and command the river, which it didn't very effectively, hence the new castle built over there in the late 13th century. So there we go, today's little history lesson, and here is Mai exploring the site and maybe about to sniff up the remains of some dead soldiers, or not. Okay, thank you.